internet. I have no energy today, and I'm not gonna pretend that I have energy. This will be a demonetized video. I don't even give a fuck about trying to monetize it, because I already know it's not gonna be. So, with that being said, we're gonna do some real talk in this video, right? Okay. I don't really know where to begin, but I'm feeling suicidal. I'm feeling hopeless, and I don't really know where to turn. The only thing I really ever had for myself was a channel, and I kind of let that slip between my fingers because I don't really know why. I guess I'm just a failure at everything that I do. Okay. I need to not down talk myself in this video because I already know the comments I'm going to get from you guys. So I'm going to try to stay away from that kind of stuff. But to be honest, I was going to self-harm this morning. Hell, it's probably only... It's 9:30 in the morning right now. It's too early to feel this way. But let me tell you why I'm feeling this way. The video that I uploaded recently of how my life is going down here, I kind of explained that I don't really have anywhere to go. I have nothing to do. It's too hot to leave my bedroom. So what do? I stay inside my bedroom all the time and I don't do anything else. I was able to get a job. I don't have that job anymore. Let me explain. But I was working in the office that my boyfriend was working at. He works in developing, and I was working in a sales position, call center. The first week was great. I loved it. It was hard and very stressful, but I was really happy to finally have a routine and being able to do something with my time. I was happy that I was actually making money. The morning routine, I loved it. I woke up at 7. We left at 8. We drove an hour to work. We had to park 15 minutes away from the job, and we would walk to the job. We would walk through this golf course, and it was very beautiful to see all the trees and the birds, and walking down that path for 15 minutes was kind of like my breather for the morning, kind of waking me up, and like, I don't know how to explain it. I'm a nature person. I really like that shit, so it kind of makes me feel happy when I see nature. So my boyfriend and I walked together down this path, and we'd get to work, and I would have to sit in his office for 2 hours waiting for my shift to start. And that was kind of like my study time, or my my relaxing social media time. I could like sit and talk to people, reply to messages that I haven't replied to in a while, drink coffee, and then 11 would come around and I would go to work. And it was training, so we would go in this little office room and we would practice role-playing because, you know, it was sales. We had to role-play back and forth. But I was the only person who hasn't had experience in sales, so they had to teach me a lot. I also don't know anything about Cancun. I don't know what Cancun has to offer, so when we're doing these role plays, my job was to sell resorts, resort packages. I would have to sell them this resort package, and say the client was like, okay, so what's so special about this resort and not any of the others? Why should I come to this resort? And also, I don't know anything about Cancun. I just want to go on vacation, but I don't know what to expect, so tell me what I should expect. And I'm just like, I mean, I don't know, you can go swimming, you can go scuba diving, swim with the dolphins, like, I didn't know shit. But the supervisor would come in and listen to our role plays, and he would evaluate us and tell us that we're not doing a good job, we're not taking the job seriously, and that if we really want this job, we need to work harder. So what did I do? I worked harder. This is the notebook that I bought. And I filled it with all kinds of fucking information, paper after paper after paper. And it just keeps fucking going. Okay, and this was the last day of training. She told me that I'm still not doing that good of a job and that I should go to Market 28, which is just like a souvenir market, I guess, for tourists. And I should approach the tour guides and the tour salesmen and see what they have to offer and listen to them and take their sales tactics and kind of apply them to myself, and maybe take some of their pamphlets and look over them. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna tape them to my notebook. So I literally taped pamphlets to my notebook. I tried really fucking hard for this job. Never have I tried this hard for a job. Normally when I'm approached with this much information, I didn't have to study this entire paper, but I did have to know a lot of things on it. These are numbers, like prices for hotels and shit. These are bonuses and excursions that I had to memorize. These are even more numbers that I had to memorize. This is a packet of all the hotels that they have to offer, and I had to memorize all of those. This is another packet of another resort that they literally had to make its own packet because it's that big. This is the script that I had to not really memorize, but I had to know the gist of it. And this entire box right here I had to memorize. And these are the ratings of the hotels, the kilometer of the hotels, like for example 7.5, 3.5, 10, 5.8. The number of rooms, for example 47, 127, 202, 108, 255, 299. And I had to know if they were in front of a lagoon or in front of an ocean. All of these packets, I had to know 80%, 90% of this information in less than a week. And I had to take a test 2 days after I had been there. And I had to memorize 25 numbers. And then on Friday we had another test, and then we had a final role play. And this final role play and this final test determined whether or not we advanced in the job. And I was given a week to impress them. I started my first day yesterday, and I walked out 2 hours before my shift was over. I'm ashamed of myself, but I did this because when I was sitting there at the desk, I was asking people around me how to make my job easier. Like, what's a convenient way to do this? What's a convenient way to do this? How do I do this, for example? I was very interested in learning more. I kept asking questions from people all around me and gathering information from each person, because every person's different. Everyone does their jobs differently. So I was just kind of taking tools and seeing what's convenient for myself. And I was applying it to my job. But I was having so many issues. Not only was my computer slow as shit, it shut down on me out of nowhere while I was trying to make a fucking phone call. The programs were in Spanish and no one could come and fix it. it was slow as fuck, and nothing was loading, nothing was working, like, fast and efficiently like it should be, because this job requires, like, you're on the phone, you're talking to someone, they ask a question, you're like, okay, shit, I need to pull up a calculator, I need to look up flights, I need to write down notes, I need to send out this text, and I need to send out this email, and, like, you gotta, like, open and close a bunch of pages, and that's just not possible for the fucking computer that I had. So, that pissed me off to begin with. And then I started getting this vibe that I was being treated unfairly. There was me, and there was this other trainee. And him and I were sitting, like, across from each other, and everybody else is, like, sitting around us. Everyone is sitting here having conversations about stupid shit. The males are fucking talking about females and all this nasty, disgusting shit that I did not want to be involved in. The women are talking about whatever the fuck they're talking about. The other trainee is also involved in this disgusting conversation. And I decided to jump in, and the conversation then switched to tattoos. So we were just casually talking about tattoos, and our supervisor, mind you, is standing there watching us this entire time. And this conversation has been going on their part probably for about 5-6 minutes, and I involved myself, and it was like maybe 1 or 2 minutes, and he walks up to me, not the other trainee, and says, turn around and do your job. I was thinking, okay, yeah, maybe he's just doing that to trainees just to get them to do their job, take their job seriously, but I looked behind me and I saw that the other trainee was still involving himself in this conversation, and that my supervisor didn't tell him to turn around and do his job also. So that's kind of what set me off. Secondly, I was overwhelmed with the job. I was overwhelmed with the way that my computer was functioning, and I had to just shut my mind off and do the job. I had to make phone calls to people. I picked up the phone, I listened to it ring, I let my anxiety build up, and I was thinking in my head, oh my god, what if they pick up, what the fuck am I gonna say? Every single time I called, it was either not an answer, or it was a different person. They would pick up, and I was just like, I froze. I didn't know what to say, because it was a different person, and the script that I had ready in my mind, I had to say something else, and I was not prepared for that. So I froze. I was like, shit, I should just hang up on them. But no, I had to proceed. And I was like, okay, is this person available? No? Okay, can you have her call me back, or can I call back at another time? Whatever, move on. I made 25 calls yesterday out of the 50 that I was supposed to make. And, I got those 25 done in, like, less than an hour. So, like, I could have gotten the other 25 done in the 2 hours that I had left. But I had so much anxiety built up that I couldn't do it anymore. I had to take a break every hour because I was just so stressed out and overwhelmed. And to add on top of all of this stress, in training, we were told that we were given an hour for lunch. But when I had started working yesterday, we were given 30 minutes. For someone with an eating disorder, I don't like to be rushed. You have to stand in line, prepare your food, and get all the shit that you want, and then you have to sit down and eat your food. And, you know, there is no room for smoke breaks or whatever it is that a person does on their breaks. For me, it was going out to the golf course and sitting there talking to my boyfriend during lunch for the next 20 minutes. Because the whole lunch and eating process would take 40 minutes on its own. That day, since I was only given 30 minutes, I stood in line, and then I only had 15 minutes to eat. And I eat very slow, especially when my chicken is very fucking hard. I didn't get to finish my food that day because I had so much anxiety about the clock. It was just ticking, and it's like I heard it ticking in my head, and it's like, hurry up, you need to finish eating because you have to get back to work. And I do not eat well under pressure. If someone is rushing me to eat, I just won't eat. So I was like, fuck, every single day I'm gonna have to deal with this. I might as well just not go to lunch. It may sound meaningless and very menial to you, but for me, all of that was, it felt like I was walking on a tightrope, and that there was no room for error. Sales is a very hard job, especially a call center. If you know anything about sales, you'll know it's a hard job, and not a lot of people can do it. You are not born a salesman, you are taught to be a salesman, but it does take a certain type of person to be a salesman. And it also takes a certain type of person to be able to make phone calls and talk to people on the fucking phone. And apparently I am not one of those people. I thought, maybe I could try it out, see if I'm this kind of person, because I usually can adapt myself to any job. If I want the job bad enough, I can usually mold myself into the perfect fucking person that they want from me. It was 5 p.m. It was 2 hours before my shift was over, and at this point, I was taking a break every hour for about 20 minutes, and I would talk to my boyfriend and be like, I can't do this, I'm having too much anxiety, I don't see myself staying at this job, like, it's too much for me. Whenever I call the client and I freak out that they're gonna answer, it's because I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna say. I don't know enough about our product to sell it to them. I don't know enough about Cancun to sell Cancun to them. And I'm not confident in myself, my speech. I'm not confident in anything. And you can't be a salesman if you're not confident in yourself or your product. That's just facts. So, clearly the job was not for me. And I had to put myself first. But the issue here is, I either stay at the job and I'm fucking miserable, the anxiety and the overwhelming bullshit gets to me to the point where I end up feeling suicidal. Or, I quit the job and I'm home alone every day, all day, for 12 or more hours, and I end up suicidal. It's like, no matter what I choose, I was gonna lose. So, it's better if I just take the route that I'm used to, I guess. Don't get me wrong, I really fucking miss the daily routine. I miss the fact that I was actually earning money for myself. I miss everything about it. I really like training, but I don't miss the actual job. I'm glad that I quit. I'm glad that I put myself first, but I really do want to get back into that daily routine. I do not want to be jobless. I crave having a job. I just want a job that I can do. A job that I'll actually enjoy. So today, when my boyfriend was getting ready for work, I just cried because I remember doing that with him for the past week. We'd wake up together, we'd get ready together, we'd get in the car and drive and talk, listen to music, get out, walk together, and then I'd sit in the office with him, even though I couldn't talk to him. It was nice to just sit there and relax and then go to work, have lunch with him, and then get off work, drive home with him, run some errands or something before we got home, and then get home and do shit. But it was just really nice to have the routine. I cried before he left, and I pulled out my blades, and I was gonna... yeah, you get it. I planned on doing it really bad. I've thought a lot about just giving up, but I don't give up. That's not anything that that's not what I do. I don't do that. Even if I wanted to, I don't have a way to. I just don't see a light at the end of the tunnel right now. Life in Mexico is really hard, especially when I don't have papers and I can't qualify for papers. So I can't get a job unless they're willing to get me papers, and that's very hard to find. The only thing that I have to offer a job is my English, and I have to be able to use my English, which means I have to talk to people, and I'm not good at that. I like my alone time. I like to work by myself. I really like being a cook, mostly because being a cook doesn't require talking to people or working with anyone. Like, yeah, you work together, but like you're not really working as a team. I mean, it depends on what job it is, I guess, but I look at all the information that I got from that job and I'm so disappointed and upset because I know how hard I worked for it. I know how much I studied, and I can still recall like a lot of the information, and now it's just useless information. But yeah, I had an interview tomorrow, but they required that I work 11 to 9, which is 10 hours a day, and frankly, you don't even get paid that much, so fuck that. Also, my boyfriend gets off at 6, and he's my only ride home, so that would require me waiting 2 hours in the morning and him waiting 3 hours in the afternoon. And then by the time we get home, he's gonna have to go to sleep, so that's just not worth it. Instead of hurting myself or doing anything stupid, I decided to go live and put on my makeup, film a video. I'm too lazy to edit this video, to be honest, but I have to if I want it to be relevant. Anyway, this video's over. I think I said everything that I need to say. Hope you guys are having a better time in life than I am. And, yeah. Thanks for watching. Bye.